Blue Flower by Sonia Hartnett and Gabriel Evans. Good morning, 12E. Today we will read the heartwarming story Blue Flower. Let's look at the back cover. Not all cats are tabby, not all trees are tall. I wonder what the author means. It seems like the author is pointing out differences. We are all unique, special and different in some way which is worth celebrating. Have you ever felt different? Felt like you didn't fit in or didn't belong? What makes you special? Let's read the book. I wake up in the morning and I don't want to go to school. Other kids like school, or at least don't mind it much, but I never want to go to school. At school you're supposed to have lots of friends, but I'm shy about making friends. At school you run and jump and climb, but I'm not good at that. At school you learn to do things, but I worry I'll go wrong. Sometimes our teacher tells us something and I don't know what she means. I'm not chatty or fast or funny. I'm not bossy or loud or wild. Sometimes I think that even though I try my best, everyone is better than me. At lunch, I sit where Mum would see me if she drove by in the car. Take me home, I'd tell her. Sure, she'd say, jump in. But that has never happened. Mum has never driven by. In class, we would continue reading, but instead we will look at key textual concepts. Blue Flower is a fictional narrative commencing with the orientation and complication combined, a slight play on a typical narrative structure. The book describes the life and daily happenings of an unhappy child who feels they do not belong within their school and peer group. A series of related events unfold, moving the narrative forward, describing the child's social isolation and self-doubt. The story includes a partial resolution phase when the child describes their special talent as an artist. The concluding resolution occurs with help from the mum character, assisting the child to realise they are just different, that differences are everywhere, and that being different is wonderful. The child discovers self-acceptance, has improved self-esteem, and shows resilience. Perspective includes the value the author and reader bring to the text. The author demonstrates their value and celebrate people's differences, and that all people should experience inclusion, confidence, and happiness. The reader then decides if they will also accept these values. The central theme is that differences are all around us, both in humans and in nature, and those differences make us unique and special and makes the world interesting. This is shown in the language choices and illustrations surrounding the child's love of painting, and the differences in nature shown in the colours of birds and flowers and sizes and shapes of trees. The book conveys an important message about self-acceptance, self-esteem and resilience. By accepting ourselves, students learn they do not have to be the best at everything. By recognising our own special qualities and uniqueness, we can experience improved confidence and self-esteem and feel a sense of happiness and belonging. The narrative is told from the point of view of the child, helping the young reader to make connections with their own life experiences. The story may elicit emotions. Readers too may feel different and begin a journey of self-reflection and self-acceptance. Sonia Hartnett's authorial voice comes through in the word choices, punctuation and sentences. The style of writing is simple and easy to understand. Tonight I felt like crying, which would be engaging to young readers. The reader is positioned to feel solidarity with the child. The negative connotations of word choices and illustrations designed to create a connection and evoke empathy. The statement, "But that has never happened. Mum has never driven by," combined with the child's demand gaze in this image, creates a feeling of sadness and aligns the reader to accept the child's point of view. The simple written text is complemented and brought to life by the illustrations. The illustrations throughout the complication show a child surrounded by others but distant and isolated, with colours of low saturation, pale brown, blue and orange, potentially triggering an emotional response of feeling subdued, sorrowful and reflective. During the resolution, the colours change to brighter, more saturated yellows, which can indicate joy, energy and hope. There is an absence of other human characters, as the child is no longer comparing themselves to others. The child's mother is the other major character. Mum is always positioned to the right, gazing at the child, often at a higher angle, and her dialogue offers an alternate view. For example, "You're not sick, so off you go." The word choices and visual features indicate a close relationship, that Mum's perspective is new to the child, she has more power, and her confident, happy persona is positioned as the ideal. Mum is a dependable and reliable character that the child can look up to. Mum is the catalyst for the resolution, suggesting that being different isn't always easy until you decide it's a good thing to be. The setting for the orientation and complication is the child's home and school, with images giving the impression of a westernised country in modern times. The school setting shows typical images of classroom, students, a teacher and a playground, which may assist young readers to relate personally with the text. The setting for the partial resolution is a white background suggesting purity and innocence, with swirling blue artistic lines which may imply we're in the child's imagination. For the final resolution, the setting is the home, garden and fields, with a brighter yellow backdrop suggesting joy, energy and hope. This image from the resolution shows the child sitting in a field of yellow flowers dotted with sporadic blue ones, implying differences and linking to the book title. The image is a long shot with characters positioned back towards the reader at eye level, indicating social distance and an equal power relationship, suggesting a growing confidence. The character's offer gaze looks towards the birds and trees, with birds being commonly associated as a symbol of freedom. The vertical vectors of the trees complement the text. Some trees were tall and skinny, others were low and wide, as the child begins to notice differences in nature. The colour palette uses warm tones, including yellow, contrasting to the cooler tones used earlier, implying joy, energy and hope as the character learns to accept themselves and their differences. The reading path goes left to right, starting from the child who is salient with a solid pencil outline and dark hair, wearing blue used as a connecting device throughout. The reading path moves right, guided by vectors from the character's gaze and a sweeping paint technique. The lower left of the picture shows a darker, more sullen sky representing the past, and the upper right representing the ideal with lighter, brighter colours. The image features and text are complementary, evoking an effective response of hope and optimism in the reader. The overall compositional effect suggesting the child is looking towards a brighter future, noticing that differences are everywhere and beginning their journey of self-acceptance. No one wants everything to be the same. Things being different is what makes the world wonderful. This powerful statement is uttered by the child during her discovery that differences are all around us. This is a key message to children and adults all around Australia. Differences are normal, differences should be celebrated, and children should be encouraged to feel proud of who they are, their abilities and their background. In 1-2E, everyone belongs, and this statement supports our classroom philosophy of inclusion. The book concludes with the phrase, "I felt like me." Students could be asked to make a text-to-self connection. What makes you unique? What makes you special? Today, 1-2E, we will look at compound sentences, which are often used in narratives and reflect the spoken nature of storytelling. Can anyone tell me what a compound sentence is? The teacher shows examples from Blue Flower and reads the book again, searching with students for compound sentences. Using the pedagogical approach of modelled, guided, independent, the teacher will model compound sentences, then complete sentences with students before students write independently. The sentences will either be written from the perspective of the child or sentences which focus on friendship, kindness and inclusion. Did you notice how the child only talks to their mum, teacher or cat? Do you believe friends are important? Let's brainstorm character traits that we value, that we wish to have, or that we see in a good friend. I wonder what happens to the child once the book is finished. Students will be shown the attached visual stimulus and story starter the next day. Students will write creatively about the following day in the life of the child and be asked to introduce another character, a friend for the child. Blue Flower shows us our differences should be celebrated. Let's discuss as a class. What makes you special? What is special about your family or your cultural background? What makes you happy? The child in the book loved painting. What differences are there between you and your friends? After the class discussion, place students into partners. Students discuss what makes them unique and special. It could be an interest, a skill, or related to cultural background, for example, a language they speak. In pairs, students take turns to share with the class what makes their partner unique and special. As an extension of the original creative writing task, students introduce a new character and are challenged to introduce a new complication and resolution. We believe the child would have a brighter day, but does everything go well? Ask students to make their writing more interesting by using a range of simple, compound and complex sentences if they are able. Can students incorporate character dialogue and more complex vocabulary? A different approach to the creative writing test for students who struggle to generate ideas or write is to provide idea generators for character setting and events and a visual storyboard scaffold for students to draw their story as per the image. The two related texts I have chosen are The Boy Who Tried to Shrink His Name and The Eagle Inside. Both books explore the themes of self-acceptance, self-esteem, differences and resilience. Linking to PDHPE, students go outside and stand side by side. The teacher poses a series of safe statements. If the statement is true, take a step forward. Students can visually see how they are both similar and different to others. Next, students play a forming groups activity. The teacher whispers a number to each student. Students must form a group with others with the same number. Some students will experience exclusion. Repeat the game with different students experiencing inclusion and exclusion. At the conclusion, students discuss feelings of being included and excluded from groups.